Hey guys, in this video I'll be explaining you chapter 1, which is nutrition, from class 10th SSC textbook. Don't forget to watch the video till the end. So the first two lines talk about the importance of food in the life of living organisms. The food is required by all the living organisms for doing any activity, be it sleeping, be it breathing, be it digestion, or be it walking. Any activity we require food, because the breakdown of food gives us energy, and this energy is used for doing the daily life activities, and the food is required. So our textbook says that the food is required for the growth, it is required for the repair, and it is also required for maintaining the body temperature, because the food gives us energy and that energy is used for maintaining the body temperature. And the type of food that the organism takes, it depends on its habit, it depends on habitat, and it also depends on the requirement of the organism. What the amoeba eats, amoeba is a single cellular organism. What the amoeba eats, that may not be taken as a food by the higher organisms such as human beings. So there is a huge variety of substances which are taken as food, and it depends on the organism. So there is a huge diversity of substances which are taken as food within the organisms, and also in a single organism there are also different type of substances which are taken as food depending on the cell. For example, we require proteins, we require fats, we require carbohydrates. So these are also the different substances, or we can say the molecules, which are required by the organisms. Based on the mode of acquiring food, the nutrition is of two types. So the two types are, first one, which is the autotrophic nutrition. You can also make notes if you want to, or you can save these notes and take a printout. So the first type, which is the autotrophic nutrition, and the second type, it is the heterotrophic nutrition. In the autotrophic nutrition, the organism can make its own food. The main example of autotrophic nutrition are the plants. So plants use the natural resources such as water, it could be the carbon dioxide. It combines this in the presence of sunlight and it makes its own food material, which is a glucose. So it could also be the cyanobacteria, which is a blue-green algae, and it is not mentioned in our book, but it is also an example, but I don't think you have to learn this in your class. That's okay. And that is autotrophic nutrition. In autotrophic nutrition, the organism depends on the natural resources for making its food, and it does not depend on the another organisms. So it makes its own food and it consumes for maintaining the energy. So the plants take carbon dioxide from the air, and they take water and nutrients from the soil and combine it in the presence of sunlight, and they prepare the food materials. Whereas in heterotrophic nutrition, the organism depends on the another organism for its food. For example, I can give you an example where a cheetah may eat a goat, and this goat in turn depends on the plants. So directly or indirectly, all the animals depend on plants for their food. Here cheetah is not directly dependent on the plant for its food, but it is dependent on the goat, which is directly dependent on the plants. So in heterotrophic nutrition, one organism depends on the another for its food requirements. And here the heterotrophic nutrition is shown both by the cheetah, because it is depending on the goat, and it is also shown by the goat. That means both cheetah and goat show the heterotrophic nutrition, and because goat is depending on the plants. And here plants show the autotrophic nutrition, because the plants are the one which make their own food, and most of the food is obtained from the plants. And this question may be asked in your exam, that the majority of the food that we obtain is from what? So that is the plants. So now let's talk about the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process by which the plants make their own food from the simple substances in the presence of sunlight, and the photosynthesis is the basis of life on the earth. If there is no photosynthesis, there is no food for the plants. If there is no food for the plants, there are no other living organisms going to live, because food is a basis for anything. So the main ultimate food comes from the photosynthesis. Because of that process, that is the photosynthesis, which is done by the plants, it makes the plants a universal food providers. And there is a scientist which is mentioned in our book, who is the Van Helmont. He identified the role of water in the life of plants, because in photosynthesis we require the water, and the duration of that experiment was around 5 years, and it took the humans to take nearly 300 years to understand what actually the photosynthesis is. And I think we should answer these questions. Here the question says, can you name some raw materials which are needed for the photosynthesis? So the raw materials required, it could be the carbon dioxide and the water. And the second question says, what could be the end products of photosynthesis? So the end products, it is mainly the carbohydrates, and it is the water, and it is also the oxygen, which is the O2. So this is the equation for the photosynthesis. One molecule of carbon dioxide combines with 2 molecules of water in the presence of light, and this is done in the plants which have the chlorophyll, giving rise to the 1 molecule of carbohydrate plus 1 molecule of water plus 1 molecule of oxygen. This is not the actual equation, but this is the equation having the empirical formula. So empirical formula means which is the simplest form of a formula. This is the actual formula, that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide combined with 12 molecules of water in the presence of sunlight to give rise to the C6H12O6, which is the glucose, and to give the 6 molecules of water and 6 molecules of oxygen. This C6H12O6, it is the glucose, which is the simplest carbohydrate, or a simple carbohydrate. And the chlorophyll, it is chlorophyll. Basically it is a pigment which is necessary for the photosynthesis, and this pigment is present in the chloroplast, which are the cell organelles which are present inside the plants. So in the photosynthesis we require the chlorophyll, which is a pigment, to prepare the complex organic molecules from the simple inorganic ones. So we have to remember 2 scientists here. One is the Van Til. In 1931 he has given one equation, which is equation for the photosynthesis, and the another scientist is the Van Helmont, which identified the role of water in the photosynthesis. These 2 scientists are important and you have to remember them. So that's it for this video. In the next video I'll be explaining all the activities. Don't forget to subscribe.